So what drew me to missions was actually a selfish desire to go overseas. My crazy great Aunt Mary had been doing mission trips for years and years to the Dominican Republic. And so when we went on a vacation to go and visit her, she told me all about it. So getting to hear all of these stories from great Aunt Mary really ignited a passion for missions in my heart. It just so happened that the next year was my senior year of high school, and I was like, Dad, I get a senior trip too, just like the boys, right? And he was like, yeah, where do you want to go? And I said, well, I want to go to the Dominican Republic with great Aunt Mary. And he was like, I'm not letting you go out of the country at 16 or 17 for the first time by yourself. And I was like, well, that's fine, just go with me. So we did, and we went on my first mission trip, October of 2008, and I was never the same. So on the mission trip, we were coming down a hill in one of the poorest communities in the area. My dad noticed first, and he kind of nudged me and was like, Brittney, look over there. And sure enough, there was a little kid, probably 10 or 11 years old, and he had a giant machete in his hand, and he was carving his baseball bat out of a tree branch. I have 5 brothers, and all 6 of us over the years have played baseball year after year after year. We've grown into new sizes of bats and out of new sizes of bats several times over, and the idea very clearly was placed in my heart and my dad's heart by God, and it was to take our old equipment that we don't use anymore, that's just lying around the garage, and go and give it to this kid and to other kids who don't have any. That's how the whole idea started to do these mission trips, was just with, we have equipment, they need equipment. Let's go fill that need. In going back to the same places, we've seen drastic change in the lives of the kids, in the lives of the coaches, and the local community leaders that we get to interact with. The kids, one of the greatest examples of the change in the kids is simply in the fact that the first year they really did steal equipment from us. And we just would laugh, and we'd be like, these gloves are just growing legs and running away. We don't have nearly the amount of equipment we showed up to camp with. And so we were like, okay, Lord, that kid, he needed that glove. Bless him with that glove. But teach him not to steal, it's not good. As we went back and as we poured into these kids and as we showed them the love of Jesus, they stopped stealing. And instead, we had kids chasing down the buses to give back the gloves that we had forgotten. It's such a huge difference now, even, to be able to go and to sit and to talk with these kids and hear their stories of faith and hear what God is doing in the lives of their family members. It's incredible to see also the kids that we started off teaching are now becoming the people who are discipling the kids. It's been amazing to see God use just a little bit of faithfulness and take it to the extreme of complete life change. I think that people, whether you are a Christian or a non-believer, I think that you should really experience a mission trip. You cannot deny God and how big and powerful He is when you get outside of your comfort zone, stop putting limits on who He is, and just let Him reveal Himself to you in such a big way. When you don't speak the language, you don't know the culture, and you've never been to that country, you really get to experience the power of God. We've had so many people who have gone with us before who were not Christians before they came, and God just broke down all the barriers and allowed their heart to really experience who He is. And sometimes it's difficult to do that here in the States, where we are so comfortable in our suburban lives and in our jobs that we've worked hard for, and we just don't always see the power of God moving and working on a regular basis. When you put all that aside and go and serve a child, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny the power of God. If God puts it on your heart, or if you think God might be putting it on your heart to go on a mission trip, you have to go. And in that, you are going to see the promises of God fulfilled like you have never seen them fulfilled before. He will provide the funding that you need for it. He will provide the time off work that you need for it. And most of all, He will allow you to trust Him in a way that you may not have ever experienced before, whether it be through the difficulty of raising the funds. God knows. And the truth is, the only pocket that has money in it is His anyways. When you are going through that and you're like, I don't think I can afford it, there's no way. Instead of believing that lie, turn around and say, God, show off. Show me how to do this fundraising thing. Help me to know who to talk to about it and share the story of wanting to go on this mission trip. Help me to be wise with my money so that I can set aside those funds that are going to be for something that's so worth it. If you're nervous about going overseas for the first time, trust me, I've been there. I hadn't even been on a plane the first time I went overseas. So I can definitely relate to that. God does not have boundaries. He sees the nations, and He doesn't have a hard time moving His children from one place to the other to go and love each other. That's not hard for Him. Allow yourself just to put your life in His hands and really trust that no matter what obstacles the world tries to throw at you, He's bigger than them, and He's going to help you through them and help you to overcome them so that you can experience the love of Christ in a way that you never have before. This summer, I am so excited that God is just going to show off in so many ways. I think that His love is going to be expressed through the lives of so many people. Every country we go to, God is going before us, and He is going to lead us and guide us to the people who do not know Him, and it's going to be incredible. We're expecting anywhere between 15 and 20,000 kids this summer, so we really need people who are willing to go and love them and to be that reflection of Christ to them. Yep. Yeah, we need a lot of people.